Hello students, I am Rajashri ma'am here with the second part of the lesson The Prince Who Loved Books by Nilima Sinha. We had finished up to the part where two princes were taken to Agra Fort to live with their grandparents and were given education about Urdu, Persian, religious texts and moreover warfare. In the meantime, the Badshah Jahangir had fallen sick due to the scorching heat of Agra. So let's start with the text here. As the heat in the plains rose, the emperor's health began to deteriorate. Nur Jahan decided to leave for the cooler climes of Kashmir. The royal family, with its accompanying entourage, set off northwards. The princess rode horses or elephants, while the royal ladies were carried in palanquins. Sprawling tents were put up wherever they halted, with every comfort at their disposal. So it is the Agra is in Uttar Pradesh, which is a very hot place with the temperature above 40 degree during summer time, and at that time there was no cooler AC. So the royal families used to go to the cold places, used to stay in the cool places like Kashmir, Himachal Pradesh, etc. And so the family, whole family, royal family, started moving to Kashmir for cooler climes. The royal family, with its accompanying entourage, they used to travel with all the comforts they have in their palace, and so they were accompanied by the entourage, or the all the person who used to go with them to take care of their comfort. The princess rode horses or elephants, with the royal ladies were carried in the palanquins. Palanquins, some of you may know that it was a conveyance where a box were attached to the rods which were carried by some people, and most of the ladies of higher family used to travel by palanquins. Sprawling tents. Sprawling means lying tents. Wherever they used to go, they lie tents there, and with every comfort at their disposal. Soon they entered the beautiful valley of Kashmir. One day, as Dara took a boat ride on the Dal Lake, his gaze traveled towards the hills. One day I will build a beautiful palace up there on the hills and fill it with books, he thought. And there were the Kashmir is a very beautiful place, and but Dara used to think always about books, and that is why at that place he was thinking about books, and about making a library, building a library over there. His dream turned into reality years later when he built Pari Mahal, his library, on the Zabarwan range overlooking the Dal Lake. And when he became grown up, he really made a library named as Pari Mahal. Why did Dara's heart race faster as the pink sandstone walls of the fort rose before him? Dara's heart raced faster as the pink sandstone wall of the fort rose before him because he was afraid of Jahangir, and he thought he might get very much angry with his father, and also with them, and threw them in the dungeon. And how did Dara greet the emperor? Dara greeted the emperor with a salam, bowing low in a respectful salam. Why did Nur Jahan decide to leave for Kashmir? Nur Jahan decided to leave for Kashmir because emperor's health began to deteriorate. Deteriorate means became worsen gradually. Became worse gradually. The Kashmir idyll was soon broken. Ideal means an extremely happy and peaceful period or situation. When they stayed in Kashmir, Dara became very much happy with the beautiful natural beauty of Kashmir, but it had come to end. Emperor Jahangir fell ill and passed away because it had come to an end because Jahangir fell ill and passed away. The Mughal throne would now have another emperor. Dara's heart swelled with pride to see his father sit on the dazzling gem encrusted throne he had so admired. And when Jahangir died, then Shah Jahan or Khurram became the next emperor of Agra. His father was now addressed as Shah Jahan and his mother as Mumtaz Mahal. Dara sighed and contented. Contented means satisfied. Dara was satisfied. His family was together again. Sighed means heard the sigh of comfort because his family was together again, safe and secure. He was a family person. He loved his family very much. He loved books as well as his family. So when his family was together again, then he became very much contented. Prince Dara was 16 when his beloved mother died. His elder sister Jahanara took over the responsibility of looking after the family. 2 years later, he was married to Nadira Banu. Soon after, the young prince was made commander of 12,000 soldiers and 6,000 horses. Evidently, the emperor wished to train him for a military and administrative role. Later, the number of soldiers and horses were increased, and Dara was given the title Shahzada-e-Buland Iqbal. He was also made the governor of Gujarat and within a few years given the charge of Multan and Kabul as well. So, Dara was trained as a prince and given many responsibilities, and he was made the commander of 12,000 soldiers at first, but afterwards his duties had increased. He was also made the governor of Gujarat and within a few years given the charge of Multan and Kabul as well. And he was even given the title Shahzada-e-Buland Iqbal because he was the eldest son of Khurram. Dara's duty left him with little time. However, his love for reading and his quest for knowledge continued. Like all other princes, he had been taught the Quran. He was an administrative person, but his love for books had not ended, and he studied Quran, and he had also learned Persian history and poetry. Still not satisfied. After doing so much studies, he was not satisfied. He wished to know more. His tutor Mullah Abdul Latif Sultanpuri introduced him to Sufi philosophy. Other saints such as Badakshi also influenced him. Soon the prince not only studied Sufism but also wrote on it. So after studying Quran, he had also studied Sufi philosophy. Sufism is a sect of Islam who were liberal to other religions. And he learned Sufism from Mullah Abdul Latif Sultanpuri and also started writing on this subject. Other saints such as Mullah Badakshi also influenced him. Soon the prince not only studied Sufism but also wrote on it. Dara recalled the time he had spent at Udaipur. He remembered the Brahmin priests reciting Sanskrit slokas that had sounded so beautiful to his ears. He was eager to learn the meaning of the verses. He sent for Pandits from Varanasi and sat with them for hours learning Sanskrit. In time, he was able to translate the Bhagavad Gita and the Upanishads into Persian. He was not even satisfied with learning about Sufism, but he even started learning on Hindu slokas, which he had heard in Udaipur when he was staying in the Mahal. And he brought Brahmins from Varanasi and started studying Bhagavad Gita and Upanishads and tried to know the meaning of them. This quest for knowledge led Dara to other religions. Fathers from Christian sects, Sufi preachers and Hindu scholars often came to Shah Jahan's court, and he also moved towards Christianity also. Dara asked them questions about their faith and beliefs. So the pundits of scholars of Christian sects, Sufi preachers and Hindu scholars used to come to the court of Shah Jahan, and he started knowing about these religions from them also. Dara asked them questions about their faith and beliefs. He concluded that though there were different religions, most of what the religions taught was the same. This conclusion resulted in a book called the Majma ul Bahrain, or the mingling of two oceans, Hinduism and Islam. And he concluded that all the religions actually gives the lesson of love and unity. And he started writing he wrote a book, Majma ul Bahrain, which was about mingling of two oceans, Hinduism and Islam. And that means that mixing of Hinduism and Islam. So I told you that he was a liberal person, like his great grandfather Akbar, who had also preached a religion called Din-e-Ilahi, which was also the mingling of all the religions. He translated several other books from Sanskrit into Persian. He, like his great grandfather Emperor Akbar, the prince soon learned to respect all religions. Unlike his brothers, he spent more time in his library than on the battlefield. So there are some questions. Who were Dara's tutors? Dara's tutors, and what did they teach him? Dara's tutors were Mullah Abdul Latif Sultanpuri, Mullah Badakshi, and the Brahmins from Varanasi. What did they teach him? Mullah Badakshi and Mullah Abdul Latif Sultanpuri introduced him to Sufi philosophy, and the Hindu Brahmins had taught him about Bhagavad Gita and Upanishads. Which books did Dara translate into Persian? Dara translated Bhagavad Gita and Upanishads into Persian. How was Dara different from his brothers? Dara was different from his brothers because he spent more time with his books than the other brothers, or the warfares. Impressed by his son's learning and tolerance towards other beliefs, Shah Jahan declared Dara his heir. That means Shah Jahan declared that Dara would ascend the throne. But if you learn about history, then you will know that he had never ascended the throne. But Aurangzeb had become the heir of Sultanate. So there are some reference to the context I am discussing here, and the answers of the questions will be given in the description part. I am tired of moving from place to place. Who said these words and to whom? These were the words told by Jahangir to Aurangzeb. Why did the speaker move from place to place? The speaker moved from place to place because his father Khurram had revolted against his great grandfather Jahangir. His grandfather Jahangir, not great grandfather. What was the listener's response to this statement? The listener's response to this statement that he loved to move from place to place. He found it adventurous. That means Aurangzeb loved to move from one place to another. Emperor Jahangir is merciful and kind. Who said these words and to whom? These words were told by the messenger to Khurram. Why had a message been sent to the emperor? Why had a message been sent to the emperor? The message sent to the emperor because Khurram had agreed with the proposal of the emperor. What message had the emperor sent? The emperor sent that he had forgiven Khurram or Shah Jahan for his revolt in spite of his rebellion. Welcome, dear children. You have nothing to fear. Who said these words and to whom? These words were told by Jahangir to Dara. Where did the speaker live? The speaker lived in Agra Fort. Why did the speaker think that the children were scared? The speaker thought that the children were scared because his father had rebelled against the emperor. So this is all in this lesson. Hope you have understood, students. So be with me in my channel and support me. Thank you for watching.